Oh, there you go. Had it the wrong way around. Anyways, I had come across this, I guess it was a PSA. Some mistress was having a rant about submission. It's not being, saying that basically there's a lot of people in the scene with self-confidence issues and bad boundaries, and this does not equate to actual submission. And their ideas on basically, sub's got to put the whole dom's desires above everything else, but the dom shouldn't ignore the core basis of submission, and they shouldn't either, or basically put a lot of it on the sub. And I guess I agree to some extent that, being submissive doesn't mean, having low self-esteem, letting people walk all over you, and not being able to enforce your boundaries does not mean that you are submissive. To that I would add, just because you're lonely and desperate for a relationship does not mean that you're submissive. You'll do almost anything for a relationship does not mean you're submissive. But I guess that's one of the things is like a lot of people have this idea or belief that submissives put their needs of the dom above everything else. To me, not so much. I guess for me the reality comes into it because of being in it 24/7. I don't live with them in their pockets 24/7, but let me put it to you this way. If you put the needs of the dom above everything else, but one of the needs of the dom is for you to take care of yourself, but then also take care of the relationship. Now, a lot of submissives get confused because it goes, but I do everything they say, blah, blah, blah. I'm there for them all the time. I'm just waiting for orders, all sorts of other stuff. Okay, have you ever thought that possibly the best way you could serve is to not be there, is to let them have their own time, is to go off, be your own person, learn new things, bring that stuff to the relationship, expand and evolve. Have you ever thought of that? It's like one person, it's like I was talking to a few people and then agreeing that one of the most selfless things to do can be to be a bit selfish, because it's not only just taking care of one person, it's taking care of the whole relationship. The amount of pressure someone who is leading a relationship can be under can be immense. That might also mean that occasionally you go, you know what, you stop that. As a submissive is like, you stop that. You deal with this other stuff, give that your whole attention, because I'll take care of the reins for a while. I'll keep you up to date, keep things ticking over. Yes, you'll make mistakes, but you're doing the best you can. And in some instances we go, no, this is my area, you've taken over this bit here, I'm taking over this bit here, and you can hand things back and forth in that way. If you're a partner and one of your partners who usually does the housework is sick, you'll do some of the housework until they get better, or doing the gardening until they get better, or something. That's the way it goes. But to just sit there, wait and do everything, I guess to me, I say it's selfless to wait and do whatever and be submissive, but it's also selfish in a way, because you're absolving yourself out of all sorts of responsibility. And let me put it this way, your desire to not make a mistake, to absolve yourself of responsibility, to not, I guess in essence, grow up, does not mean you're submissive at all. One of the mainstays that I've seen for a lot of long-term relationship is that actually the S-type does take on a lot of extra responsibilities in order to unburden they're D-type. And the D-type will just basically sort of be, like I said, the captain in the helm. I have the vision of going forward. This is the plan. I take care of all the grosser overall view, and you guys focus on the nitty-gritty every day and let me know if anything's going wrong. That's the feedback. Number of times I've had instances of where people will be like, okay, something's going on. It's like a social situation, and you see the Dom not looking at or recognizing some social cues, the sub on a different perspective, and being able to see the context differently. I've seen subs sort of gently steer or correct the Dom, or make sure that they don't embarrass themselves by putting their foot in their mouth, or at least too much. And they're like, a look, a touch, whatever. It's nothing like, going right to the Dom saying, no, that's just a stupid thing to say. It could be something really, you don't even notice. That's the interesting thing about dynamics. But anyway, getting back to it, there's a lot of things that people mistake submission for. It is not low self-esteem. It is not bad boundaries. It is not being desperate for a relationship. It is not absolving yourself of responsibility at all. As I said, that's just my point of view. I've had a few in there. So, what does it mean to you to submit to anything? Not just someone or a Dom in a relationship. Where's the compromise there? Do you look at it willingly, like an actual conscious submission of, hey, I know I can do this, but I'm handing the reins of this over to someone else because either they're better at it or they want to do it or lead or something like that. There's plenty of people that submit in everyday life all the time to, government, high power, police, their partners, work, the elements, Some things you just cannot control. I'll put it to you that way. Impossible to actually do that, but you can control your own reactions to things. You may not be able to control the visceral reaction, but you can control your conscious reactions to a situation and not be repeating in that loop. Anyway, those are things to think about. I think I've gone off on a bit of a tangent, and it looks like there'll be rain for the next week or so after today. It's pretty sketchy, I don't know, but I'm hoping maybe I can get some more plants in, and then they can do the plant thing and grow and do things. Some of them have gotten a bit sick at the moment. Had a couple of really warm days, and I've not been there to water them. Oh my god. Anyways, catch you guys later. Bye.